merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Spaceballs the t-shirt.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the Winnebago, and prepare to go to ludicrous speed.
We passed them! Stop this thing!
We can't stop. It's too dangerous.
Because we're diving into the outrageous galaxy of Spaceballs. This isn't just a parody of Star Wars. It's a movie so packed with behind-the-scenes chaos, legal drama, and improvised genius that it barely made it to theaters intact.
Are we stopped?
We're stopped, sir.
Good. Well, why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Very good, sir.
Here are 20 shocking facts about Spaceballs that'll blow your mind. And as a bonus, wait till you hear what George Lucas really thought. Number 1. Mel Brooks had to get permission from George Lucas himself. That's right. Before filming even began, Brooks reached out to Lucas to make sure he wouldn't get sued. Lucas said yes, but with one condition: no Spaceballs merchandise. That's why the film constantly mocks itself with fake merch like Spaceballs the flamethrower. Ironically, that fake merch became more iconic than some real movie products at the time. Number 2. Rick Moranis improvised almost all of Dark Helmet's dialogue. Yep, that signature whiny villain voice and those ridiculous one-liners? Completely off the cuff. Moranis said playing the character was like channeling every childhood tantrum into one role, and Brooks just let him run with it. One crew member said there were times when even the camera operators had to stifle laughter during his takes. Number 3. The film's budget was slashed mid-production. Originally, Spaceballs was set to have epic space battles and expensive effects, but when the money dried up, Brooks leaned into the ridiculous.
1, 2... Wait! What happened? Where are they? I don't know, sir.
That's why many of the ship models are clearly toys, and why the whole thing feels like a sci-fi sketch show on steroids. It was DIY movie magic at its weirdest. Number 4. Pizza the Hut was a nightmare to film. The costume was real, made from rubber, melted cheese, and gallons of fake slime. The actor inside, Richard Carl, could only last a few minutes at a time before overheating. One crew member said it smelled like a microwave on fire, and after every take, it took hours to clean up the mess. Number 5. The Winnebago wasn't just a prop. It was an actual working RV, modified with giant wings. Filmed it driving on real roads before adding the space effects. The interior scenes were shot on a soundstage, but that exterior? 100% real van in flight gear. Brooks joked that it was the cheapest spaceship in cinema history. Number 6. John Candy almost passed out in his barf costume. The tail was remote controlled, the ears twitched on motors, and the fur suit trapped heat.
I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
Between takes, Candy had to be hosed down just to keep from overheating, but he never complained. He loved the role and called it one of his favorites ever. He even ad-libbed some of Barf's lines, including, "I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend." Number 7. The radar scene with the jam? Totally improvised. When Dark Helmet yells, "There's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry," Lone Star. That entire sequence was made up on the spot. They actually threw real jam into the equipment. The crew had to stop filming afterward because the jam got stuck in the ventilation system. Number 8. Dot Matrix was voiced by Joan Rivers, but the body was played by a mime. That's right.
How was that?
Not bad. Not bad for a girl.
Hey, that was pretty good for Rambo.
Lorene Yarnell, a professional mime, wore the golden robot suit while Rivers dubbed the lines in post. The result? C-3PO's sassier, sharper cousin. The two never met in person, but their combined performance gave Dot Matrix a life of her own. Number 9, the combing the desert scene was a direct jab at studio notes. Executives kept asking Brooks for more visual gags, so he gave them the most literal one he could think of: 2 guys combing the desert with giant combs. One of the combs broke mid-take and had to be taped back together. Number 10, the film barely passed the censors. Between the language, innuendo, and Mel Brooks' usual edge, several scenes were flagged for being too risque. Brooks had to fight to keep lines like, "I bet she gives great helmet," in the final cut. Surprisingly, most of the humor got through untouched. Number 11, Lone Star's name is a mix of Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. Mel Brooks wanted one character to parody both heroes at once. That's why Lone Star flies a Millennium Falcon knockoff, wears a vest, and still gets the princess. Bill Pullman even studied both Star Wars characters to find a blend of swagger and idealism. Number 12, Mel Brooks played two roles, Yogurt and President Scroob. But his makeup for Yogurt was so intense, he could only film for a few hours a day. The gold paint irritated his skin, and the suit was almost impossible to move in. Still, he insisted on doing both parts himself. He said it was the only way to guarantee the jokes landed exactly how he wanted. Number 13, the Spaceballs theme song, not written until after filming. Brooks wanted something upbeat and ridiculous, so he hired composer John Morris to write it in just a few days. They recorded it with a fake band to match the film's offbeat tone. The lyrics were changed several times to include last-minute jokes. Number 14, the scene where the characters watch Spaceballs the movie, inside Spaceballs the movie, nearly got cut. The studio thought it was too confusing, but Brooks fought to keep it. Today, it's one of the most iconic scenes in the film. Some film professors even use it to teach meta-storytelling. Number 15, George Lucas actually liked it. After seeing a rough cut, Lucas reportedly said, "It's a loving spoof." His only regret? That he hadn't thought of Yogurt first. Lucasfilm even helped with the film's post-production by offering advice on space scenes. Brooks later said that Lucas's approval gave him the confidence to keep pushing boundaries. Number 16, Daphne Zuniga hated the Yogurt scene. Not the character Yogurt, the actual yogurt she had to fall into during a gag. She said it was cold, sticky, and smelled terrible. The scene took multiple takes, and every time they reset, the yogurt got worse, thicker, smellier, and somehow more slippery. It soaked through her costume, got in her hair, and lingered in the studio air long after they wrapped. Daphne later said that by the end of the day, the set smelled like a gym locker filled with expired groceries. She took it like a champ and nailed the scene in the end, but she admitted in interviews that she refused to eat yogurt for years after filming. She later joked that it was the only time in her career she had to shower on set between takes. Number 17, the Spaceballs sequel was teased in the movie, but never happened. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, became an inside joke in Hollywood, and among fans, it became a legend. Brooks said he'd only make it if Rick Moranis came back, but Moranis stepped away from acting for years to focus on raising his children. Still, over the years, multiple drafts were written and quietly shelved. There were rumors of an animated series, a reboot, and even a Netflix pitch, but nothing ever materialized. Fans still ask Brooks at conventions about the sequel, and his answer is always the same: only if we can go even more ludicrous. He once joked that the true sequel was already made. It was just trapped in a different dimension where Mel Brooks is president and everyone wears mega-made helmets. Number 18, the stunt doubles joke? Real stunt doubles. When Lone Star and Princess Vespa are caught and the guards say, "Those aren't them," they're their stunt doubles. The people on screen are actual professional doubles, complete with bad wigs and fake mustaches. One of the doubles was reportedly offended that their face got a bigger laugh than their stunt work. During test screenings, the audience laughed so loud and so long that several lines of dialogue were drowned out entirely. Brooks said he didn't care because the reaction was worth it. He later admitted that the line came from a conversation with his stunt coordinator, who jokingly complained that nobody notices the doubles until there's a punchline involved. So Brooks gave them the punchline and the spotlight. Number 19. Spaceballs didn't crush the box office when it premiered. Critics were confused and it flew under the radar, but over time it became a cult favorite. Quoted endlessly, played at midnight screenings, and even taught in film schools as a masterclass in parody. What started slow became a comedy legend. Number 20. Mel Brooks says Spaceballs is the most requested movie of his career. Fans still ask about it at every Q&A, and he's met people who named their dogs Barf or dressed up as Dark Helmet at their weddings. When asked about a sequel, he simply says, "Only if I can go to plaid." Bonus fact, the Schwartz rings? Totally real. Every main cast member got to keep one after filming wrapped. Rick Moranis reportedly still has his, and he's been known to wear it to fan conventions. For die-hard fans, it's not just a ring, it's a piece of parody history. May the Schwartz be with you.